everybody. I'm Katherine Heugatter. I'm the Volunteer and Educational Programs Coordinator here at Washington Crossing Historic Park. I am here to answer the questions that were submitted. So one of the questions we got was, why did Washington cross here instead of up at Trenton? Well, this crossing took place between two ferries that were located outside. There was McConkey's Ferry at what is today the Washington Crossing Bridge, and just a little bit down the way was Johnson's Ferry. Washington controlled those ferries, and he used them to get his horses and his cannon across the river. He also planned two other crossings. General Ewing was supposed to cross at Trenton, and Colonel Cadwalader was supposed to cross at Bristol. Washington's plan was to surprise the Hessians, surround them, and cut off any potential escape routes. Unfortunately, that nor'easter storm rolled in, the ice was really thick in the river, and the other two crossings weren't able to make it. Somebody else asked, how did Washington boost morale for his troops before crossing the Delaware? Well, legend has it that Washington ordered his officers to read The American Crisis by Thomas Paine to their soldiers. And you can see a bust of Thomas Paine with his famous "These are the times that try men's souls" words here in our auditorium. Now, we have no documented proof of that legend, but we do know that Paine's pamphlet had been published in Philadelphia just days before this crossing, and the men were definitely reading those words in camp. And "these are the times that try men's souls" words became a rallying cry for the men. Somebody else asked, where did you sleep? Where did Washington sleep? Well, in December of 1776, when he was here in Bucks County, Washington slept at the Keith House. He actually never slept on site here at the park. He was really focused on the mission of getting across the river. Another question was, where was Martha Washington during all this fighting? Well, in the 18th century, armies did not fight in the winter generally. The main campaign season was kind of the spring to the fall. And during that time, Martha Washington was down at Mount Vernon running the plantation in Washington's absence. But she did come to every winter encampment throughout the war. Lucy Knox and Katherine Green did as well. And if you want to learn more about the women who were with the armies during the fighting, be sure to check out our Camp Followers digital experience on our website. Somebody else asked if Washington would teach them to dance. Now, I don't know if you want somebody that's 290 years old teaching you to dance, but Washington was a dancer. He was known to take the floor at the start of a ball. He performed the minuet that started every dance event, and he once even referred to dance as the gentler conflict. Somebody else asked, who was Washington's dentist? There is that famous legend of Washington having wooden teeth. That is actually a myth, but Washington's dentist was Dr. John Greenwood, a former Revolutionary War soldier and fifer, and he made 4 sets of dentures for Washington when Washington was president and later in his life. And actually, those dentures were mostly made out of hippopotamus ivory, not wood. And then the last question was, how did Washington react to the tensions in his cabinet and his administration? George Washington actually specifically picked his cabinet members to represent the different regions, backgrounds, opinions, and experiences of this new United States. And when Thomas Jefferson, Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson, tried to resign, Washington pleaded with Jefferson to stay, specifically to offer a check and balance to people like Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton. Jefferson and Hamilton legendarily disagreed on everything, but Washington wanted an array of opinions. However, he did warn against political parties in his 1796 farewell address. So thank you so much for these questions. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and be sure to check out that video on Tuesday. Thanks, guys.